Hello and welcome to This Week in Sins. We're wrapping up week 16 of 2017. Obviously, we've circled the wrong week. I'll have to fix that. So a little bit of an error there. It's actually the week below the circled week, but either way, that was the week, the 16th to the 22nd. Before we go into our week, this week, we're going to start off with a message.
Share, don't like. When you share, it shows you care. It tells the world that you support something, not just in the quiet recesses where I put it, but you're putting it out on your page. You're telling your friends, your fans, that you support what we're doing. So share, don't like.
So we're going to be going over seeing some of these videos all year long. Share it. It's going to explain why sharing is important from other creators, not just me. So we can hopefully build a culture of sharing, not liking. But onto all these wonderful threads that did get shared and liked by all you great people. Number 7. Now, we're going to be going in reverse order, but we now have it labeled when you look at the list in order because some people were complaining it was a little confusing. So we're going to be scrolling up, not down. Number 7 was Fetish Babies on Kindle. So obviously I'm excited to see you guys are still engaging and sales are starting to pick up and the reviews are coming in. So I do appreciate that as the co-creator. I appreciate you guys constantly sharing it. I think that's why this made the list again, because we hadn't really pushed it in a few weeks because we had been dealing with all the Kickstarter rewards. So thank you to everyone who has shared it. I do appreciate it. It means a lot knowing that I have your support, and I know Alyssa feels the same way. Number 6, can you say epic truth? Now, this is, for those who don't understand this, The Samaritan was written by Victor Dandridge Jr., and his main character, the Samaritan, fights crime in what would be called urban America, much like Luke Cage, or as I called it where I grew up, you know, the blocks and the neighborhoods, or the hood. And he wore a hoodie while being in such areas, and he would fight crime. And it was very gritty, and it was very honest telling, and it was like, you know, an honest depiction of what I felt like inner city life really is about. And it was an interesting take on it. It didn't feel like someone was guessing at it. It felt like someone was actually telling a story that even I understood from, you know, where I grew up. So him reading this is a reflection of the fact that it's clearly obvious to most people who have read The Samaritan that The Samaritan has influenced Luke Cage on the Netflix series. And I'd even go as far as to say there's Easter eggs inside of it. If you watch the first couple episodes of Luke Cage, you'll find them if you read The Samaritan. And if you want to read The Samaritan, your lucky day, there's a link right here. This link, that'll let you get a copy of The Samaritan. You're welcome. Moving on, we had Spoken Sins goes punk and rock. So we had Austin, Alan Hamblin, on our show on the 19th, and it was a great show. And what I love about these new lists is that you can actually hit this here, and it's actually the video. So you don't have to go anywhere. For some reason, it's starting at 9 minutes for me, but that's because I was watching it. Because I actually liked the interview with Austin. I thought we covered a lot of great ground. Austin's a great creator. I really think you guys should watch the interview, because if you watch that interview, you're going to want to know where to buy his stuff and where to get his comic books. And he's the creator of Steel Wool and Punk and Rock. Punk and Rock's awesome, by the way. The narrator is like a fourth wall thing. Imagine if Deadpool narrated a comic book. That's pretty much the narrator of that comic book. So you guys got to get involved in that. Number 4, Mr. Anderson Reviews Judges. Now, this is the second time a review of mine's actually made the list. Honestly, I thought it was a fluke the first time. I guess you guys really appreciate my opinions, and I appreciate that, and I'm going to keep giving them to you. I know some people wonder why there's so many few far in between. Truth is, I don't do negative reviews. If I see something that's not really ready for publishing and not ready for spending money on it because there's a few errors they need to fix, I tell the creators privately that they need to fix some things, and I cannot endorse it. There are 2 levels of endorsement. I will do a review. If you see a review, that means I think the comic book is worth money. If you see a review that says Mr. Anderson Reviews, I'm personally saying that this is something that not only I would buy, but it's something I'm endorsing and I'm proud to stand behind. The biggest difference between the two is generally what I like versus what I don't. If I like read a comic and it's an interesting comic, I'm not going to hold it against anyone, you know. But if it's something that really strikes a chord with me, I want it to have that little bit of an extra, you know, an extra reward, if it were. I don't hold back on what becomes a Mr. Anderson reviewed approved comic. If it's good and it makes it interesting, it'll probably wind up getting it. I was surprised about this one. Fetish Babies made the list again twice in 1 week. I was very excited about that. Our artist search, which we talked about in week 15, because this is week 16 now, was we talked about in week 15. We were looking for a new artist because Attain has moved on to her own project, which she has both written and is doing the art for. So that's a double workload. And I know she had to move on to other projects in between when we launched on Kickstarter and we finished the last issue. So sadly, we have to replace her because she's moving up in the world and has a tighter schedule right now. And you've seen her art. If you know anything about Satania, you've seen what she does, you understand she's going to be one of those artists in demand. So we are currently open and still opening. We're not going to pick the artist. I think Alyssa said the first week of May she's aiming for. That Friday or Saturday she wants to make the announcement. I think it's the 5th or 6th. I'd have to look at the calendar real quick to tell you exactly what date, but I believe it's the 5th or 6th. Claire Vail interview, she made it. Once again, there has not been a week that went by since we first interviewed her where she has not made the top 7. You guys are loving all the content with her. You can always see more of her stuff at Geekgasm. One of the most passionate cosplayers we've gotten the opportunity to interview. I really am impressed by her every time we talk on social media. I think that you guys have done a fantastic job in supporting her. Just make sure to go to her site, Geekgasm. Check out her interview, which was like just honestly very compelling read. It's very insightful, and she was very honest, and you could tell there was an honesty about it. And then finally, we had This Week in SiN, week 14's review, which I'm sure had a lot to do with Claire Vail, which is why we gave her the cover for this week. And then you see Victor right there underneath telling us why sharing is more important than liking. So that was This Week in Review. We will see you back here for this program next week when we review week 17, which has just started as we're filming this. If you guys ever have any suggestions, any thoughts, anything you want us to cover, reach out to us on Written Sins, either on social media, at our Facebook page, our Facebook group, or directly on our site in the contact info section, which you can always find right here under the Contact Us tab. Right here, right underneath info. All right, guys, we will see you next week. Until then, stay geeky.